Hello everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Anthony Salas, and on behalf of the American Marketing Association, I'd like to welcome you to today's webcast sponsored by Get Satisfaction, entitled Drive More Revenue from Your Social Strategy. We here at the AMA provide you with this webcast as one of the many special programs that we offer to the marketing community, and we invite you to participate in this ongoing series of free web seminars to help you drive the greatest return on your marketing investments. Whether it's in research, advertising, promotions, social media, and beyond, our webcasts offer education in all key areas of marketing. So make sure to join us every week for our informative thought leader webcasts that do feature some of the most expert minds in marketing. You can get more information by going to marketingpower.com/webcast. Before we do get started, I would like to cover just a few housekeeping items. Today's webcast is being recorded and will be made available to you very soon. If you have any technical or content-related questions, please use the chat feature located to the left of your viewing screen. Technical questions will be addressed as soon as they are received, and content-related questions will be addressed during the Q&A portion at the end of the presentation. We also invite you to join the conversation today on Twitter. We are using the hashtag SMEngage. I apologize. So SMEngage. Please search for or use that hashtag and engage in the conversation there during today's presentation. And before we get started, go ahead and introduce our speakers for today. We have Azita Martin, who is the Vice President of Marketing, and Josh Morris, who is the Solutions Engineer, and both are with Get Satisfaction. So a lot of great information to share with us today. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn things over to Azita to get things started.
Thanks, Anthony, and thanks everyone for joining us. Our webcast today, as Anthony mentioned, is about second generation of social and helping you understand how to drive more revenue from your social strategy. But before I begin talking about second generation of social, let's define what we mean by the first generation of social and what that was all about. We all know the impact that social media has had on businesses. And it's important to understand that social was really driven by the consumers as they first connected to each other on social networks to share content with friends and family. But social media gave consumers the amazing power to talk about brands and their products. And that is when companies decided it was time to be part of the social conversation. In the first generation of social, companies started to build their Facebook fan page, got a Twitter handle, and started to build fans and followers. And then companies started to apply digital advertising to social media with contests, Facebook ads, and promoted tweets. The market research firm Gartner estimates that companies will spend more than $17 billion on social initiatives this year. And of that, $8.8 billion of that is being spent on social advertising. A recent consumer research by the Insight Group actually surveyed over 2,000 social-savvy consumers. And it found a gap between how consumers want to engage with companies on social networks and how companies are using social today. There were several really interesting findings in this research, but three of them really come to the top. What the research revealed was that 81% of consumers surveyed said that they actually go to a company's website when researching products and services of that company. And 50% of them said that they would actually join a brand's customer community so that they can connect to other consumers who are already using those products and services. And 58% of them have actually joined a community based on a friend's post on Facebook. So really, social media is the door into brand's customer community. This shows a high level of interest in company websites that are made more social by adding customer community as a component of that. So what do we mean by second generation of social? What we mean by second generation of social is building authentic engagement with customers and prospects throughout the customer life cycle. In the past, companies have had an inside-out approach to marketing by having full control of their brand and messaging using advertisement, collateral, digital ads, and loyalty programs. And taking care of customer service issues was only the support organization's responsibility. But social media has completely turned that upside down. Social media has enabled consumers to connect with each other and talk about anything, including your company's brands, products, and services. What consumers care about is that companies engage with them throughout the interaction life cycle, about the issues that matter to them at that particular time. Consumers are exceedingly being turned off by companies who are constantly advertising to them on social networks without any insight into what consumers really want. This also gave rise to a wave of companies like Radian6 and Hootsuite to help companies listen to these social media conversations. And social marketing companies like Buddy Media and Wildfire help companies advertise on Facebook, develop contests, and engagement games. But the reality of it is that social campaigns were yet again another way to just broadcast and sell to consumers. They didn't help companies build the customer relationships that they truly want to have, or facilitate conversation across the customer life cycle, or be able to collect and reuse valuable social content as rich marketing content. So customer community is all about building engagement, which is what second generation of social is all about, building transparency and authentic engagement. A branded customer community like GetSatisfaction helps you do that by providing a venue that connects prospects and customers to each other to talk about your company's products and services. A branded customer community connects your prospects to your customers, and if you build true engagement with your customers, it means that once they buy your products, they can get answers from other customers and employees of your company when they have a question about how do I set up your product. For example, if I have a camera, how do I set it up and start using it? How do I get resolution when I have a customer service issue? And because you engage with them at the right time around the issues that matter to them, that's when you're ultimately able to build brand advocates. So let's see how a customer community can turn customer conversations into relevant word-of-mouth marketing content that drives revenue for your company. So here we're actually looking at the Facebook brand page for Pampers. And what you see is that there's a content that actually is being placed by Pampers that says, you know, what social networks do you frequent as a parent? And in the first half an hour, there are almost 140 comments. But within 3 to 4 hours, those contents actually disappear and flee. And what customer communities do is they deliver engagement and revenue by taking those social conversations and cultivating persistence, discoverability, and relevance. So let me explain what I mean by those 3 points. A community is a destination for long-lasting content and relationships. With GetSatisfaction Customer Community, you can actually bring social conversations from Twitter and Facebook into your community and make those conversations evergreen by increasing their shelf life from hours to months and years. In fact, the average for content in a GetSatisfaction community is over 11 months. And these topics in the Get Satisfaction community actually generate more activity over time and become available to other customers who may have the same ideas or the same questions. The conversations become part of your social knowledge base and become valuable to other customers that have similar questions. These conversations, once brought into the community, can also be used as word-of-mouth marketing content by connecting your prospects to your customers or placing them strategically on your website or your e-commerce site. Community makes social content discoverable. As you know, Facebook content is actually not indexed by search engines, but communities are highly indexed by search engines. Communities are highly indexed so customers can find information by simply searching on Google and Bing. In fact, we have numerous examples of customers whose community has a higher ranking, SEO ranking, than their website because of the relevant content about their products. So for example, in this particular slide, somebody's on Google and what they're asking is, how can my baby model for Pampers? And what you see is that the Get Satisfaction community for Pampers actually shows up as #1 organically in the search. And that is because that particular question has been asked numerous times, and the response for that exists in the community. So in essence, not only are you bringing these social conversation and increasing their shelf life, you're making them highly discoverable, and you're actually increasing the SEO for your community and for your company. And thirdly, you can place these relevant customer conversations anywhere strategically on your website, which then increases the SEO of your website as well. So a key differentiation of the Get Satisfaction community is that you can bring relevant customer-generated conversations about specific products and services and place them strategically on your website. So what you're seeing here is the e-commerce site for KittyCare. KittyCare is the #1 baby online retailer in the United Kingdom. And what they have done is, in addition to product reviews, they are embedding specific customer conversations, particularly FAQs, frequently asked questions about each particular product, and placing that right on the e-commerce site next to that product. So in this case, you see that somebody is looking at this Britex car seat, and looks like they like the price and they like the reviews that they're seeing, but they have a very, very specific question that is, is this going to fit in the middle position of my Audi Q7? And if they don't know if this car seat is going to fit in their particular car, they might actually not move into the shopping cart and buy this product. But by connecting that prospect right there from your e-commerce site to the customers in your community, they can get a live answer right there, and from somebody else who might have already bought this car seat and has a similar car, and be able to make that final decision that they need to make in order to increase shopping cart conversion rate. So the ability to embed these relevant customer conversations right on your website and connecting your prospects to your customers when they're on your e-commerce site will dramatically increase the conversion and revenue of your company. So let me summarize what I just talked about and how communities work. First, it enables you to bring social content from social networks into your community to increase their shelf life and make them available to other customers and prospects. Communities are also highly discoverable by search engines. So content can be found through organic search and increases your website's SEO. And thirdly, it enables you to bring relevant customer-generated content about specific products and services and place them strategically on your website. And finally, another important thing to think about is the integration of your customer, community into your CRM and internal systems and processes. For example, if you are seeing an issue on Twitter and that issue is very specific to that particular person, you can actually respond back from the community into whatever social network that issue was raised, but you can also open up a ticket within your CRM system, your ticketing system, so that a customer service agent can actually get back to that particular customer and resolve their issue if it's very specific to that particular customer alone. And finally, an important thing to keep in mind is driving revenue from social means that you have to be able to have insight into your community. What I mean by that is that be able to really understand and pinpoint the product interest that your community has by curating topic types. So for example, you can say, I want to see, what product is generating the greatest Q&A or frequently asked questions. And there's likelihood that in the frequently asked questions are actually prospects that are connecting to your customers and want to know the differences between your product and a competitor's product. You can also gauge community sentiments to activate brand advocates. So you're able to identify customers that are happy and that are willing to be brand advocates. And you can identify the most active users and champions that are creating content in your community and leverage that as rich marketing content. So for example, when you're getting praise, you can say, well, I want to show all the praise on my website next to this particular product. So you can slice and dice it in many ways to really get a better understanding of what these customers care about in your community. And you can also use search analytics to get insight into what customers and prospects are looking for, where they're searching from. Are they searching within the community? Are they searching on Google and Bing? And what are the key search words that they're using? And this information can help you identify what products your customers and prospects are mostly talking about based on the topic types, and identify prospects that are evaluating your products and route those leads to your salespeople. So let me wrap up by saying that second generation of social is all about engagement. It's about people participating around relevant content and not just broadcasting. So the more that you have participation, the more that you are generating content that is relevant to the customer life cycle and to the issues that they care about, the more you're able to build bigger engagement and better bond with your customers. That's ultimately going to result in accelerating revenue for your company. So with that, I think the best thing to do is I'm going to now pass it on to my colleague, Josh Morris, our solution engineer, who's actually going to give you a demo of how several key companies are using the Get Satisfaction community to drive revenue from their social strategy. So Josh?
Again, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. As Azita mentioned, I am a solutions engineer here at Get Satisfaction, and I'm now going to walk you through 2 live customer implementations, or actually a few customer implementations of Get Satisfaction to give you a better understanding of the benefits of customer community and hopefully give you some sort of visual representation of how you may be able to integrate community into your customer lifecycle, into your web experience, or really any of your online presences overall. So what you see on the screen here is Mindjet.com. Mindjet is a Get Satisfaction customer. They are a B2B software company, and they sell a mind mapping or employee collaboration software. In a hypothetical situation, if the 2 of us, you and I, were working on a project internally, and we had a mind map going where we were collaborating and brainstorming, if you updated that map and I didn't respond to your changes, maybe there was something I missed, or maybe I wanted to know if there was something I missed. So leveraging the social behavior of today's online customer is what GetSatisfaction is all about. So integrating this customer community experience into your website is truly crucial. If I came here with our hypothetical situation to mindjet.com and I wanted to discover the answer to my question, did I miss something, did I miss a notification that my map was changed, where I would probably come to first is the support area of the website. What you'll see within the support area are some complementary options to sort of self-serve. On the left-hand side, you'll see this top FAQs. These support topics, these most frequently asked questions, are all conversations that are coming from the GetSatisfaction community for mindjet.com. These are being dynamically generated based on activity within the community via a simple API call that we allow you to embed using simple copy and paste code. This search box is doing the exact same thing. It's another GetSatisfaction widget, simple copy and paste code, that allows you to search content from the MindJet community. So with our situation, if I wanted to ask, maybe I miss a notification when the maps change, or maybe I just don't get notifications in general, but it's just a simple FAQ. I don't need to call in. I don't need to submit a ticket and wait for a response from an employee. I just want to discover this information on my own. So when I click Send, I'll be ushered to the GetSatisfaction community for MindJet. You'll notice it retains the same branding and look and feel of the MindJet website, but we're now within the GetSatisfaction hosted community platform. And what I'm presented with are the most relevant ongoing conversations based on the natural language of my initial query, as well as the status of the topic in the community and the activity level. So right away you'll see that there may not be a question that directly maps to what it is I was searching for, but there is an idea that's very similar to the topic type I searched. So when I click on notifications when maps are changed, what I'll notice is right away this is an idea in the community, but there's an employee response that lets me know the answer is no. This is an important use case. We'll be working on it in the future, but right now this is not a feature. So right away I've already got the information or got the answer I was looking for. The answer to my question, do I get notifications when maps are changed? Or did I miss something when my coworker updated our mind map? The answer is no, I did not. So already MindJet has deflected a repetitive question or a frequently asked question just by repurposing an initial customer conversation. What they've also done is they've taken that question and they've flipped it into an idea, and they're now tapping their community of customers to see if this is something that they should prioritize within their product roadmap. So you'll see here I have the ability to follow this conversation. I can support this idea by voting on it, or I can even share it with other interested colleagues or coworkers who may use MindJet and who may also be a proponent for the idea. I can also offer some feedback. I can let MindJet know that there are some real needs here with real-time notifications, and here are some different use cases. I can also support existing customer replies and let them know that, hey, this is a great answer. I support this as well. If I wanted to offer my own reply, I could reply to this. I can add sentiment. I can add whatever content to this I wanted to as well. I can go ahead and post this to the community and share my feedback and hopefully better prioritize this within the MindJet roadmap. When MindJet employees come back and they either plan or they implement this change to their software, they can update the status of the conversation. When the status is updated, everybody who's participated, followed, or voted on this idea, they'll receive an update letting them know that, hey, your idea is now being planned or has now been implemented on the MindJet software. So there's really two levels of resolution here. One, I came to this community, found the information I was looking for, and didn't have to wait for a MindJet employee to respond, another customer to respond. And two, I was actually able to influence the products or services of MindJet simply by searching a frequently asked question or searching for information that was only truly relevant to me at the time. But I got it in real time, and I was able to join an ongoing conversation. So that's a very basic introductory workflow into how GetSatisfaction can help you reduce overall support requests, but also increase that customer-to-customer engagement. This is the GetSatisfaction community for MindJet. Again, the same branding and look and feel as the MindJet website, but this is the home page of a community platform. You have the 4 outcome-oriented topic types: question, idea, problem, and praise in the initial search box. This encourages your customers or your users to first search the community of content, categorize that content or feedback, but also consider ongoing conversations before they post new content to the community. So I'll just go ahead and repeat what I asked on the website, just to show you how the workflow works from the homepage of the community. And again, this is all about encouraging engagement, encouraging customers to join ongoing conversations versus submitting new content. So you cannot post new content without first consulting existing conversations, whether you're reporting a problem, sharing an idea, or even asking a question in the community. So again, I can drill right into the conversation that we looked at, or if there was no content in the community that was relevant to my question or feedback, I could post this new to the community. This is where the user has the ability to, again, categorize their feedback, offer some more details. They can associate it to a specific product, also tag it with keywords, and go ahead and post it to the community. Now when you click post, this goes live to the community. There's no pre-moderation, but what that does, again, is encourages the customer-to-customer engagement. This allows other brand advocates who are passionate about a certain brand or service that you offer to participate on your behalf, and that builds loyalty across the entire customer segment. So your most passionate brand advocates, your existing customers, have the ability to influence a new or potential customer. Again, we'll look at the homepage here to let you know that there are other ways people benefit just from coming from the homepage to your community. Not only are we promoting the most recent activity as a live feed here, all the new conversations coming to the community, but we're also promoting the most frequently asked questions, the most popular ideas, the most common problems, as well as the most recent praise. So again, this leads to that repetitive conversation deflection, but also that increased customer engagement overall. So the two ways we looked at so far are embedded widgets as an entry point into the community, or as a way to expose conversations from the community, as well as a direct link to the community homepage as an entrance to the community. We'll also look at one that Azita mentioned as well, Google. Then search engines are becoming more social. They're becoming, or still are, the most popular form of information discovery for end users or consumers today. So it would be remiss really if we did not talk about the search index optimization of community content. GetSatisfaction is a network of more than 70,000 hosted customer communities, and all of the content in those communities is user-generated. So that receives a very prioritized search ranking. And all content in individual customer communities benefits from the other content that's indexed on search engines. So what we'll do is, say a colleague of mine recommended that I try out MindJet for my own organization. So I want to know how I can start a MindJet trial. When I just search Google, you'll see right away beneath a sponsored ad in the very first search result is a community topic from the mindjet.com GetSatisfaction community. But there's something that's pretty interesting about this topic. So we'll go ahead and drill into this. And what you'll see is this is actually a topic that originated from Twitter. Now this is really great. Never before has tweets been discoverable or repurposable via search engines. GetSatisfaction allows you to now repurpose socially generated content, whether it be from Facebook or Twitter, in your customer community, and allows you to extend the lifetime value of that one-on-one conversation, but also repurpose it and expose it in different places online. So customer community and search engine results is just one example of that. MindJet, looking to make their entire organization more social from a customer and employee standpoint, now has a community area of their website. So this is a real-time feed of a lot of their social channels or social statistics here. And one of those are praise conversations or customer testimonials coming from the GetSatisfaction community. So you'll see again what we just looked at was a tweet that came from Twitter. They used one of our social media monitoring integrations to pull that into the community and then expose it in different places, one being search and two being their website. You'll see that branded here, the same conversation that we looked at, but using GetSatisfaction embedded widgets, you have the ability to discover that same content, the same information. I can reply to this conversation, share it, follow it. I can give my own praise if I wanted to as well, if I was an existing customer or if I had a good customer support experience with MindJet as well, and go ahead and post that to the community. Or I can just look at the feed as it comes through. So repurposing this typical support instance or customer feedback that's a more traditional one-on-one in a very siloed environment, you have the ability to repurpose and reuse this in a very marketing-oriented way. Again, instilling brand advocacy, creating brand loyalty, and overall just including customer conversations in every part of that customer lifecycle. Now moving into another example that Azita mentioned, our Get Satisfaction for Facebook application allows you to replicate your entire customer community, all of the content, all of the participants, all of the same benefits of Get Satisfaction directly within your Facebook brand page. So Pampers has chosen to promote Get Satisfaction for Facebook as one of their top applications. And when you drill into the Ask Pampers area of their Facebook brand page, again, you'll see the familiar look and feel of Get Satisfaction, the 4 outcome-oriented topic types, company announcements, as well as community activity. But you get all the same benefits as well. So again, you're not able to post new content without first being presented with ongoing customer conversations. So I want my child to model for Pampers. I want to find out more information about how my child can model for Pampers. So when I drill into this, right away I'll be presented with the question. I'm not taken out of my Facebook experience. I'm more comfortable engaging with Pampers or engaging with a specific brand inside of Facebook, maybe because I've liked them or I've seen them on a friend's news feed before. So I'm presented with all the information I need in this relevant area without ever leaving where I navigated to in the first place. So I have the employee response. I have the ability to vote on this, to share this content, or just engage and even share pictures of my child as well. And you'll see here it's a very rich and contextual experience, but the real benefit here is I discovered the information I was looking for. I now know that I can't go through Pampers. I need to go through a modeling agency. And 2, I'm not leaving wherever I navigated to, so I'm still within Facebook. This is another example of this embedded community experience that's similar to the MindJet website. When I brought up the praise example, I wasn't pushed away from where I was originally engaging with the brand. So just to show you how this exists outside of the Facebook example and where this is actually being hosted, we'll go to the Pampers community on Get Satisfaction. Now again, this is a familiar look and feel, question, idea, problem, and praise. It's all of the same content we just searched via Facebook, but it's being hosted externally with the same navigation, the same branding as a Pampers website. So the Get Satisfaction application is very highly customizable. Again, all the same benefits of the community homepage here, all the people that are participating in the conversation from an employee or a customer standpoint. And you're providing them multiple areas of entry into the community, multiple areas of discovery for the information, but it's all the same content replicated no matter where that content was captured or where it's been exposed. It all updates in real time, so customers are benefiting from the same conversations wherever they're looking to engage a brand. And one last customer example of an embedded community experience is Sonos. Sonos is a wireless home speaker sound system or office speaker sound system, and they've chosen to promote their community as a main line of support as well. So when you go to the support channel, again, you're presented with some static FAQs, but also with this embedded community experience. Now this is another example of a widget, simple copy and paste code provided by Get Satisfaction that I'll show you how to create in just a couple of clicks in the next slide. So if I were to ask my question, let's say I wanted to add a room to my wireless sound experience. When I click Continue, again, the real value of Get Satisfaction is the ability to expose information in real time wherever the customers are looking to engage. So how do I add a room, let's say, back to my system? Again, it pops up in an overlay. I'm able to find the information I'm looking for, share the information, reply to it, ask a new question, all from within the same area I navigated to. It's very hard for me to actually make it to the Sonos community that's hosted externally here, but that's what it's all about. It's about creating this real-time feedback in a location that's branded, that's trusted, that's very familiar to your customers or to your end users. And now I'll show you how to actually create that widget experience. Again, I keep saying easy copy and paste code, and it really is. This is a Get Satisfaction community. We use 3 of our own communities here, and I'll show you that when you are an employee or an admin of a community, you have this My Communities toolbar. In the admin area, this is where you actually manage and administrate the entire community for Get Satisfaction for your organization, where you invite your employees, where you look at your analytics and statistics, where you create the customization and branding of your community, but also where you create the widgets. So we're going to go ahead and create a new widget here, and we'll replicate the one we just looked at on Sonos. So we're going to select feedback form. We'll get rid of updates. And we'll promote ideas as the main topic type we want to promote to the user. Maybe let's say we want to submit, allow users to submit private ideas as well, or private feedback in general. We'll give them the private post button. And if we wanted to, we can make this, we can associate this to a particular product or a particular moderation tag, so we can really create a specific experience for the end user and capture that feedback already tagged with a specific product. And this is where we create the branding or styling of the widget as well. So go ahead and preview this just to make sure that you're creating the experience that you like. We have idea promoted first. We have all the top ideas being presented from the community. And we also have the ability to privately post. So great, that looks like exactly what we wanted to do. So we'll go ahead and save this. So when we save this, we're going to name it. And when you save it, it generates the code. Again, simple copy and paste code. A couple clicks, we have the code that we need now to embed this widget on whatever page we want. Simply copy it and paste it into the HTML or the script of that page. And what's really great and valuable about this is when you're done creating that widget, let's say we created that and applied it to 5 different pages on our website. Well, now we realize that problems are the majority of the topics that are coming through that widget. So we want to narrow it down just a little bit. So we're going to go in here and we're going to select that widget that we already created. What we're going to do is we're going to take out ideas, because people weren't just giving us ideas, and we're going to promote questions and problems. We're going to make this a little bit more support-oriented. We're going to promote this first, still allow the ability to post privately, and we'll go ahead and click Save. Now what this is telling you is this is going to update every instance of this widget or every instance of this code that's already embedded online. This is great. This saves you a lot of time for development work, a lot of time going back to your marketing team and asking them to open up or update the script of different pages. So this is a real time saver from a support standpoint, a product standpoint, really whatever team wants to create or update a widget or a community experience on your website. Again, it's a simple copy or simple clicks of updating what's already embedded as copy and paste code. So we'll save and continue. What that does is it updates that code wherever it is online. And if you wanted to embed it again in a different location, it gives you that script again. And last thing I'll show you here are the Community Health Analytics. Community Health Analytics are a both high-level and granular insight into your community on a user or topic level. So you'll see there's many different tabs here that are pre-configured reports. There are about 30 to 50 customizable dashboards in here, but they are pre-configured on a lot of what our customers have told us are the most relevant and valuable pieces of information that they can get out of their community experience. So right away you'll see there's a lot of information with regards to self-service. How many people are coming to your community creating a topic that your employees don't need to get involved with for it to be resolved? So customer-to-customer engagement is huge in Get Satisfaction. What overall percentage of your community has changed in the last 30 days? How many number of active champions? And what the overall grade is from your Net Promoter Score coming through your community. There are many different pieces of data here that allow you to see your response times to improve the overall response rate in your community from an employee or end user standpoint. And also the page views. So what pages of your community are the most popular? And you can drill into these and filter them and see where they're coming from. Another valuable tab in here are the leaderboards tab. You can set the date range here so you can see, you can track against time historically what are the most popular conversations. You can track most popular conversations based on views. So if 141 people have come through and looked at this topic or this conversation in the community, you can imagine that's at least 100 deflected one-on-one requests for your support team. We can also let your product team know from an ideas or a problems perspective what the most active conversations are based on votes. So how they should prioritize their roadmap or how they should prioritize their efforts on debugging or improving products and services. From a user standpoint as well, who are the most active users in your community, whether they're employees or whether they're actual customers or potential customers or even champions that you've already identified. Get Satisfaction allows you the ability to publicly identify your most active and passionate brand loyalists or brand advocates, and they engage with other customers in your community, again, building that trust, building that loyalty within the community just from simply having open public conversations. Again, on a reporting level for employee activity, the opportunity to see who the most engaged employees are from your organization, what the reply rate is per employee based on per champion, or even what the overall responsiveness is over time based on topic type. Again, these are all very pre-configured, but at the same time you have the ability to customize all of these based on what matters to you most. You can also export these to different file formats, PDF, CSV files, Excel files, and you can generate these reports on an automated basis on a daily, weekly, biweekly, or monthly basis. Send them to your team managers, your product managers, your support team leads, whoever is most interested in this conversation. You can generate these reports and have it automatically sent to them. So that's really what I have from a product demo perspective for you today. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hand it back to Azita. And what Azita is going to do is help lead our Q&A session. It looks like there's been a lot of conversations that have come through, so we're excited to help you learn more about GetSatisfaction.
Thank you so much, Josh. So we see a lot of questions here, so I'm going to go through them as we have time. One of the questions we got is, are we going to get a copy of the presentation? The answer is yes. If you attended this webinar, you will get an email from us tomorrow with actually a white paper that has much more detail on this particular presentation, and we'll also place the presentation on SlideShare and give you a link so you can download it. So we have a question about how do customer communities differ based on product or service types? Specifically, what differences are you seeing between mass market products versus luxury products? I think, in many ways, it is all communities is about relevancy to the members of the community. It's the customers and prospects connecting to each other to talk about the product and services they care about. So in all honesty, it's more, if you're talking about mass products, you will have a lot more members in the community. When you're talking about luxury products, you probably are getting more into specifics of those products, but there's not a huge significant difference. Anything, Josh, you want to add to that?
The only thing I would really add is that the Pampers community is a great example of how you can actually combine sort of both mindsets here. It's a mass consumer product, baby diapers, Pampers products in general, just baby care. The endless number of parents that are participating in that community are also very passionate about the products that they're using because, of course, it's very relevant to the health and well-being of their family. And that's really what we find in these luxury environments as well, or these very specific niche communities. It's just people are very passionate. And when people are passionate, it shows in the community because they have this sort of social presence. They have this social awareness about them that their actual profile is getting recognition or their persona online is building this resolve with other customers. So it's not necessarily a difference in experience. It might just be, like Azita mentioned, a difference in the overall volume and community. So it might be a smaller customer set, but really it's the same conversations, it's the same passion, the same activities that are taking place, whether it's a mass consumer brand or more of a niche luxury product. But great question.
All right, thank you. So the next question is, how can we get customers to invest in social media? How can we show the ROI for customers to invest? So reality of it is that the return that customers are getting is being able to get answers significantly faster than picking up the phone and calling your call center, right? So it's really being able to connect to other people who are using their products and getting a unbiased perspective whether that product that they're researching to buy is the right product for them or if they have a customer service issue. So that's the ROI for the consumers, is the relevancy of the conversation and controlling that conversation themselves and talking to other people that are using those products or have similar passions. So that's truly the ROI for the customers. The ROI for businesses is that you are getting great product ideas, so you're engaging with your customers, you're driving resolution for your customers, so you're building customer loyalty, and you're able to get and leverage your customers to actually answer a lot of support questions that will dramatically reduce the cost of customer service. We have an example of a company, Mint, which is a online financial services business, and they actually reduced their support tickets by 75%. So there's significant ROI on cost savings in using a customer community. All right, can you go back up? There was another question about does the
customer-to-customer engagement encourage competition to take advantage of this venue to criticize our product? A very common question for Get Satisfaction is, how do I handle negativity in the community? And it's a very valid question across all social media channels today or online channels. And the real value of handling what doesn't always have to be negative content, but say a reported problem or a complaint in a community setting, is truly the transparency of conversation. And we reiterate that there are many passionate people, brand advocates, brand loyalists that come through and just enjoy participating from a just self-awareness perception of, a profile in the community. But if you're handling these negative complaints or these problems in a community setting that's very much more transparent, what we've seen are brand advocates will join the conversation almost as quickly, or if not sooner, than employees can get to it. So the passionate people who understand that a negative experience or a faulty product is probably only a one-off situation and they've had a much better experience, they're very inclined, just from a personal standpoint, to come through and engage on behalf of the organization. And the other value here from an organizational perspective is, if you're fielding these complaints or if you're fielding these negative experiences in a public manner, you're letting people know that you're aware of the situation, you're there to resolve it, and you're doing everything you can to right your wrong. Whether or not it was intentional wrong, I'm assuming it's always never going to be, but you really have the ability to build brand advocacy and build loyalty, again, just by showing people that you care. And we give you the moderation tools as well, that you can remove inflammatory comments or just overall negative comments that are non-constructive to the community. So you don't have to worry about managing content, but you can look at negative comments in the community as really a positive, as a great opportunity for you to instill more trust in your customers and really just more trust in the brand overall.
We have another question that says, what if you don't have an e-commerce site? What if you're selling services rather than products? How do you optimize organic content and create community if you're not selling a product? So again, a community is to really curate and drive engagement and conversation around product or services. So this is not about buying a particular product. It's about connecting people to each other so that they can ask questions. So if you're selling services, it's very similar. It's enabling people to ask specific questions and getting either an answer from employees of your company or from other consumers or customers that are familiar with your product and services. And so really the community is optimizing from a search perspective around content that really matters to your prospects and customers, not specific keywords that you want to optimize on, but specific content and conversations that are important to your prospects and customers. All right? So did we cover all the questions? And the last question is, how do we build a community?
Great question. From a technical standpoint, it's very easy. It's point and click like I showed you. But I think what Mylin is trying to ask here is, how do we actually cultivate a real customer community? And Get Satisfaction's been doing this for well over 5 years now. We've pretty much been there from the beginning. And there are many different ways to promote community participation with your users, with your customers or potential customers. And it's all about creating easily discoverable information, but really cultivating the community is through seeding conversations that are relevant, that are resourceful, and being engaged in that environment as well from an employee perspective. So it's not just letting the community take on a life of its own with no moderation and just hoping that people will engage and play well together. But it's through promoting it. It's through really making a community a resource for everyone who finds an entry point to the community. So not just seeing this as a one-off, the older, more traditional forums that are just static, hard to navigate. They're very cluttered with non-useful conversations, with really just spammy information. A customer community powered by Get Satisfaction is very results-driven, and it helps provide resolution for really anyone who comes there, whether they're looking to have a question answered, have a problem resolved, have an idea be heard, or even just praise be shared as a form of a customer testimonial. That's really all it's about. It's just about being heard as a customer on behalf of the organization, whether it's a representative of the organization or another like-minded individual. So there are many different ways you can build a community. It really depends on what kind of community you're looking to build, what you're really looking to get out of community. But it's all about being a resource for those who come to your community by providing them, just the acknowledgement that you're there and that you're listening to them.
Okay, it looks like we have addressed all the questions. So now I'm going to pass it on to Anthony to just go over some wrap-up logistics. Anthony?
Perfect. Thank you so much, Azita and Josh. Really appreciate all the information that you shared today. Appreciate all the time and effort, and look forward to getting some great feedback here. So before we do close, just a couple of items to cover, as Azita said. One reminder that we will be doing a follow-up, and you will be receiving both a link to the recording as well as a copy of the slides that were presented, so please be on the lookout for that. Also want to invite you to keep that conversation going on Twitter. Just a reminder, the hashtag for today's webcast is SMEngage. So please join the conversation there if you have not done so already. And in closing, I'd like to thank GetSatisfaction, who was our generous sponsor, as well as ReadyTalk, who provided us with the web platform that we use for today's webcast. If you'd like to learn more about ReadyTalk and their services, please visit readytalk.com/AMA. Last but not least, I'd like to thank you, the audience, for your time and attention, and invite you to keep joining us weekly for our Thought Leader webcast. That does end our presentation for today. Thank you so much for joining. Have a great rest of your day.